Hello everybody, we are Ursula and Levi Myers. We would like to welcome you to Casa de Myers.
Hey guys, we're so excited to share some stuff with you all today. We have had so many people reach out to us wanting to know, can you actually come into our own home and create what you did at Casa de Myers for us? And the answer is yes. So today we thought, how fun would it be to walk you around our own house that we built from the ground up, show you all the details, all the small to the big things, and maybe give you some inspiration for your own home as well.
So starting off, we always wanted a foyer to set the stage for our home. We've always loved rock. So we did rock here on the inside with this big rock archway going into the dining room. We used reclaimed wood from a barn that was on this property when we bought it. This is old shiplap wood that we took out and we reclaimed and we put it in here. And it has a beautiful patina on it. This picture frame of our family. This is what we kind of built this house for our daughter and our older kids. We wanted a place that when they came home, they felt like they had a place, that this was home.
So I love all the details that we put into the house. It took us 2.5 years to build this house, and we honestly had 2 boxcars full of things that we had been saving for like 10 to 12 years that we knew that someday we would put into our dream home. And so Levi designed the house, he drew it up, and then we had an architect make a blueprint basically. And then from there, we took 2.5 years to build this house, and right down to the smallest details, we were involved in all of that. To me, what I love about our home is that you're gonna see a lot of really big design ideas, but then we're really particular about the smallest things as well. For example, the frame that you have here is actually a frame that Levi built specifically for this picture. The top of it, he incorporated the last thing that my dad gave me before he passed away. And so he actually put my dad's brand, his dad's brand on there, and then our kids' brands and our brand at the top as well. So that's what you're gonna see a lot in our design and our style, is how we can actually make it tell your story as well.
So the first thing you see when you come into our living room is this massive chandelier that I drew up. A friend of ours, Ross Payne from Amarillo, he put it all together. There's kind of a funny story with this chandelier. When Ursula and I first met, we were sitting down talking about houses because we've always both loved houses and interior design. And she said, if I ever build a home, I'm gonna build this chandelier with branding irons on it, because I seen it in a Cowboys and Indians one time. And I said, hang on just a sec, we were at my house, and I went into the back room and I pulled out the Cowboys and Indians, and I still had it because I'd been carrying it around because of that chandelier too. So it was cool, we finally got to build that together.
And so the chandelier actually incorporates some of our family's branding irons, but then also a bunch of branding irons that we got from Old Mexico. So I love that it's got that rustic feel too. And then that brings you into the rest of the living room. And we wanted a space that was gonna allow the family with the kids and the grandkids to just come in and not be squished together, but actually have room to just have their own space and lots of sitting room. So what we did was we designed painstakingly, I might add. If you only knew how many times we had cardboard cutouts of a couch that we put into this living room. So we came in, and of course the focal point is gonna be the fireplace. As we go into the living room, I wanna show you some of those details as well, because they're pretty spectacular.
So this mantle here, we actually drew this up. This is a piece of temple door trim that came from Pakistan that we sourced. We had our contractor put all this together. Ursula found these actually in Round Top on her favorite time of year. So we added them to it, and just really sets it off with these huge corbels.
So we've always loved a big fireplace. That's always been one of the things that we wanted in our home. And of course it had to have a massive, massive buffalo on top of it as well. And a funny story about the TV, when I went to Sam's Club to buy this TV, Levi said it was too big, but I bought it anyway, and now it's perfect. And he's really happy that I did buy a big TV. So guys, don't worry, I got you, because we'll get that big TV in there for you too. But we loved all of the rock work that was outside, so we definitely wanted to bring it into the house in numerous places. You're gonna see it in this fireplace here, just like Levi pointed out, in the foyer as well. It's there too. Another one of my favorite pieces and details is actually gonna be the old saddles that we got from old Mexico. So Levi actually made those saddle stands. I wish I would have had a video of him putting them up because it was quite the feat, let me tell you, of him on a ladder, putting that on the wall, me handing him the saddle and all of the things. But that's really one of the things that people ask about the most when I'm showing pictures on social media of our home. They always ask about the saddles and the saddle stands, and that's something that Levi actually built.
So this rug here is one that I designed. We got the inspiration from a trip we took to the Gage Hotel. And that whole trip, every Southwest place we went to, there were either Southwest rugs or Turkish rugs. I really just wanted to incorporate it into one rug to have Southwest patterns with the floral of Turkish rugs. So that's what this rug is here.
And we actually have this rug in 2 colorways too. And this is the massive 11 by 13 size. The reason we love it, obviously, in the space because this is a big living room, but we actually make it down to small sizes as well and extra long runners. Another detail that I want to point out too is a lot of the decor that you're going to see in our home is actually vintage pieces or pieces that we've thrifted, that we've found at flea markets. I love flea markets. That's how I grew up with my parents always going to flea markets and thrift stores. So it's something that they definitely passed down to me. And so this massive coffee table is a flea market find. And then I have to show you one of our favorite pieces that we love that actually came from a flea market too. So flea markets are our thing. Like, we have found so many cool things over the years. And so one of our favorite pieces is actually this calendar. It's a 1950 calendar that we got, and we actually had it framed, had it matted because sage green is our favorite color. So of course we had to incorporate that into the frame. But then of course we're bringing in a lot of just greenery and succulents because we think that that really adds just a really unique touch to a home. It's going to add a pop of color as well and different textures too.
So we actually found this chair in Warrenton. We found it because I was tired of walking.
At the flea market.
And Ursula came up and seen me sitting on it. There was a massive hole where some animal had chewed a hole in this thing. She was like, "Is that for sale?" I was like, "I think," and she bought it.
Bought it, brought it home, and we had it recovered in this beautiful brown leather. It's studded on the side. This is one of our favorite pieces. Honestly, because of the story behind it, but also I had always wanted a chaise lounge growing up, and we got one at a flea market. We wanted a big open concept when we were designing our home because we wanted, again, just space for everybody to come in and hang out and just be comfortable. And so it's just an easy transition from the living room to the kitchen, and wait till you see all the details that we put into this kitchen as well.
So this bar I drew up. The guy that made this didn't know that if we could do this or not. I had this idea. I said, "I want you to put cactus in this sheet metal." He gave it a go, and I really loved how it turned out. The same man, he did the sheet metal for the range hood that has our brand. It's the same technique that he did to use to make the cactus on this as well. So these posts here, I'd wanted some twisted carved pine for these, but nobody in Texas makes these. So I looked on Google search for quite a while to try to find somebody. There was a man in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, who was actually making these out of his garage. He just did it with a chainsaw and a chisel. He did amazing work, and I sent him the measurements, and he built them for us. I love the way they turned out on this bar. So to start off, every kitchen you gotta have good cabinets. These are Naughty Alder here. We loved this stain color. One thing that we argued over forever was hardware. We wanted it to look rustic, but yet still be classic. And we really loved the hardware we went with here. All this was from the same company. We just loved their hardware. Of course, we were always big fans of granite. We picked out our granite and just tried to incorporate different trim work into our cabinets to make them unique. All this wood that we use throughout our kitchen and throughout our house really is all pieces that we source that come from all over the world, whether it be Pakistan like the mantle or Afghanistan. A lot of them came from India. They're all ornately carved, and it takes a long time to find them all, but when you put them together and put them in your home, it really makes it unique. So
I really love the detail of the ornate wood at the top of the cabinets as well. And we actually, thinking Christmas, right, family and lots of people here, we had the builder put plugs up top. So it's always a fun time when I've got to climb up there to the very tip top to put the big wreath up there. But we always just outfit that for Christmas, and it's just really cool. And so we really tried to think of the smallest things to the biggest things when we were designing, because we wanted this just to be honestly our showcase of a home. You can see on the range hood that Levi was talking about, it has our brand, but then we actually used the ornate wood again. You're gonna see it on the sides. Levi is just such a stickler for detail, so he would draw every single thing out and then he would give it to the builder and they would build it that way. And so these actually came off of a door frame that we took apart and then used in several places. We have it here by the gas stove on both sides. We have it here on the range hood. And then you're also gonna see it incorporated here on the ends. One of the things that Levi's gonna show you when we show you the office is the really cool details that we just left on all of this ornate wood, because we wanted it, again, to tell its story. These are not pieces that you're gonna go find in a cookie cutter home. These are honestly pieces that we sourced from all over the world, like Levi said, but we really wanted them to stay true to their history and their story. We just wanted to bring it into our ranch house.
So these are tipple posts from Afghanistan that we incorporated into this entry. It just really, we always wanted a dining room where we could all eat for holidays and hang out. We spend a lot of time at this dining room table, but we really felt like these posts and with this beam, it really sets the stage when you walk into the dining room from the kitchen.
So what we really wanted to incorporate in our home too was not just Texas ranch house, but we also love Old Mexico. We love the haciendas. So we call our style ranch house hacienda. So you're going to see a big mix of what would normally be in a ranch house, but we also mixed in a lot of hacienda details as well. And so coming into the dining room, you're going to see the saltillo tile that we absolutely love. We incorporated the saltillo in multiple places into the house, and we were very, very adamant with our builder and the guy that put our tile work in, that we wanted him to leave the tiles exposed, the ones that have the tracks. If you're familiar with saltillo tile, they actually get it from Saltillo, Mexico. That's where the name comes from. And they lay it out in forms and the animals walk across it. So you might have a chicken track or a dog track, and we loved those things. So we were really adamant with them of put those with the tracks in places where they would be seen, because to us, that's just part of the beauty of saltillo. So we brought it into the dining room, and like Levi said, we had a big table made to sit 10, and then we kept having new grandkids, so we actually had to buy a little table that you're going to see in a second for them as well. But to us, it's all about the details. The chandelier came from a flea market that we actually had rewired so we could put it in here. As you come in, you're gonna see the chili ristras, which are very much a New Mexico thing. And so we actually will have them hanging out in the summer in our front yard on our posts, but then we also have them in here as well. You're gonna see little details from, maybe an old bridle that Levi used to use, but he no longer does, so I get to decorate with it, to my granddad's good felt hat that he used to wear that I am just honored to have. And so we wanted to also bring in some different pieces. Levi wanted a bar, so we found this really cool bar piece that's in the corner. And then, Levi, will you tell them about the mantle in here?
This is actually, this mantle over this fireplace is actually, it was a table originally. Some people had actually taken a temple door trim and made a table out of it. We then took that table and cut it apart and made a mantle out of it. So that's just kind of how our minds work. When we see something, regardless of whatever it is, we want to use it in a different way than it is currently. This right here is actually a address sticker. It's metal. This is what they use in India as their addresses. So it's on this. There's some trim in the kitchen, and then we have a door on the office that still has the address sticker. Stuff like that people, we just like to leave on just because we think it gives a lot of character to the piece. So this was a temple door that we found. It was as is. This was a steal. I couldn't believe we found this thing like this. It came all together. The frame and the doors, they all still work. So you've got this latch. When Ursula gets mouthy, I can just lock her in here. As you see here, this is from India. This is their address that goes on here. So just like this, we like to leave these things on here just to keep them unique and give them character. And then you can walk into the office.
So one of my favorite pieces in our entire house is actually this really cool altar piece. It actually came out of Old Mexico. It was in a personal chapel that was built in the 1700s. And this family had built this beautiful hacienda and this chapel next to the hacienda. And they'd had it for years, and they had all of these really ornate pieces in it. But then the family died, and nobody wanted to take over it generation after generation. And so they actually sold everything that was there, and we were lucky enough to find this piece with the Virgin Mary and all the ornate details. It's got the angels on the top and the sides. And so we needed something to place it on, and we found this piece actually at a store, and it just matched perfectly. And so that's one of my favorite pieces, and I feel like it is just perfect against the wallpaper. So this wallpaper is one of the things that a lot of people ask us about. When we were designing this office for me, that was the original intent, and now it is actually turned into a joint office for Levi and I. But I really wanted something that spoke to my New Mexico roots. And so I really took a long time to figure out what we were going to do in this office, because I couldn't figure out what we were going to do on the walls. We went through ideas of, could we actually make adobe walls, because I grew up in an old adobe home. We thought about that, multiple different things, and I found this wallpaper. It's actually from England, of all places. Who would ever think that you could get cactus wallpaper in England, right? But I love the way that it turned out. It looks really, really good with the Saltillo tile that, again, we love. We've got just some pieces that are important to us, some family pictures, and of course, Levi's art, which is really what Casa de Myers started out for, because Levi is such a talented artist. He's got such amazing God-given talent, and we really wanted to be able to showcase that, and we do that in multiple places in our home, and so definitely in the office as well. So talking about the Saltillo tile and the tracks, this is what I'm talking about. So this is actually some dog prints, paw prints. To us, this just makes it even more special, and something that we definitely wanted to highlight in our house. So Levi and I are so proud of what we have built together, and honestly, this has been a joint project, obviously. Levi's attention to detail is just incredible, and with his skills being such a talented artist, it really brought everything that we had in our heads to life. I feel like I come up with crazy ideas and explain them to him, and somehow he is able to draw out what that is. But then also his love of the Southwest, his love of ranching and having grown up that way, we just really incorporated that into the house in so many ways. So we just want to say thank you for watching. We're excited to bring you more videos of some other things that we're working on as well. If you ever want to see more about what we offer with Casa de Myers, you can always go to our website. So it's www.casademyers.com. You can find us on all the socials as well. We can't wait to help you build your own dream home as well and tell your own story the way that we tell ours.